What's up, guys? I'm making a video right now because I'm bored. I decided to go out on this road today, even though I can't really afford it, but just needed to get out and do something. This isn't too far from where I live, but it's a little ways. Besides that, I took another little detour before I came to this road. I don't know the name of this road. It goes down to Highway 56, but down in Nevada. It's a nice little drive, but it's muddy in spots right now. A little bit. Right now I just put the four-wheel drive on in case it gets muddy, and that way I don't ruin this road. It's in good shape for the most part. I don't want to tear it up. So, yeah. It's a cattle road. That's what it is. And it's a little bit twisty and windy, and you just go slow and easy on it. Anyway. So I am feeling extremely calm, and I'll tell you why. I don't know, it's just by accident, you know, because I just wanted to grab some sand and put it in my pocket, just for fun. And I did. It seemed like something fun to do. Fun, I don't know. Fun and funny. And it made me all nice and calm. Yeah, I am kind of dumbfounded, to tell you the truth. Not sure how that works exactly, but I do kind of think I know how that works. It's like the Earth's magnetism, you know? It's in the dirt. Yeah. When we're close to it, we feel calm and comfortable. Yeah. You ever notice that? Maybe you have. Some people call it earthing. Well, all you gotta do is put it in your pocket, and then you can earth all day long. Just take it with you. Works great. Delicious. Yummy, yummy. I love it. Sorry if my throat sounds a little hoarse. That's the way I get when I get a cold. That's as bad as it gets, but that's the way it gets. No sore throat, just a little hoarseness. Anyway, years ago, I figured out a little secret. I can call it a secret because it is, until you figure it out. I don't even think people have known it since time began. They've all always thought they gotta make something or do something, or, you know, brew something in a pot like they did back in the old witch days. But, you know, you don't have to do anything, actually. You still use nature, but you don't really have to manipulate it in any kind of weird way. Not saying that couldn't be useful for something, somehow. We won't go into that because these days we're different. Most people don't quite get it, but in short terms of the fact, nature is energy. Emotion is energy. People are energy. Okay? And words are energy when they're spoken certain ways. So you get the stuff mixed together, right? And certain things happen. So that's how the old witch doctors did their stuff. But anyway, some of them weren't good. And they used things in the wrong way. Just like giving somebody a poison, you know? Same difference. It's not right. Not right at all. Karma does definitely frown upon such acts of doing wrong. Hurting yourself even is not a good idea if you intend to get better. But if you don't, then the natural energies aren't really bothered by it, just as long as you're not hurting others. Oh, wow. Look how that just curves around and goes down real quick over there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Shoo, right down there. Pretty. Doesn't look as neat on the zoom, but yeah. Yep, peaceful. Peaceful among peaceful feelings. I got a dose of it from the nice and calm backcountry, and a dose of it from the dirt in my pockets. Maybe a couple of rocks in there with the dirt, I don't know, or sand. Yeah, specifically, since it's easy to get, dry river sand, or, you know, it's all loose. Go grab a handful of it, put it in your pocket. You'll thank yourself. You will be thanking yourself. But anyway, been looking into the energy thing a little more than I ever used to. I always thought it was kind of a little oddity, you know, that maybe somebody just thought was pseudoscience, or I mean, you know, something somebody come up with that I thought might have been pseudoscience, I guess. But it's not. It's real science. Science since the beginning of time. It's just a lot of people have went the wrong way with it over the thousands of years of time, and now we've really went crazy with science. Who knows what wrong turns and what doors were open that should have been kept shut and shouldn't have been taken. But yeah, I'll tell you why I don't ever get sick, really. What I figured out, it's nothing to do with any pseudoscience or witchcraft or wizardry or even religion or anything that mankind really understands. But my soul, my very soul, understood when I thought about it and tried it. What I did was a long time coming before I kind of finally figured it out. It happened by accident for the most part. Just like the thing with the soil or the sand in my pockets. Just kind of figured it out by accident. The things we put into our body, everything has energy, just like I said. Okay? So if it's not something you can eat easily, like kill a deer and fillet the meat off of it, or a cow or whatever, or get an apple or an onion and eat it, say, you know, stuff like that, then you shouldn't be putting it in your body. It's the simple rule. The simple rule. Anything else is in it, added to it, it's going to mess up the chemical makeup that is sympathetic to your body. Understand? Sympathetic. Like, remember when you were a kid, you had trouble with something like, you know, learning to tie your shoes or whatever, for example. Your mom or dad was sympathetic and put themselves in front of your shoes to help you learn how to tie them. That's exactly what the right foods do for the body. Put it right in front of the body and it ties things up together how they're supposed to be. You put something wrong down there, it looks at it like, what do I do? What do I do with this? What do I do here? What's this? How do I mix with this? How do I match to that? The energy, not the material, exactly the energy of it. It's very crucial. Okay? I'm going to tell you one little thing I've read, and I've read a lot of things that blew my mind. Things I probably won't even go and try ever, because holy cow. Hemlock itself, and this is apparently true, if placed under your neck while you're sick, will kill you if you cry, and will make you well if you sing. Hemlock. Okay? That's how powerful that energy is. So don't ever doubt the fact of what you're eating has to be something that your body wants. Not something that your body don't want. Like, you know, some kind of extra chemicals or flavoring. I don't care what it is. Now, if done correctly, it can be medicinal. Such as a sympathetic mix of natural ingredients from bees and plants will make your body impervious to infection over a course of years. Yes, it will. That's exactly how I got to the point I'm at. But also it's because I quit taking things like, you know, any kind of drugs that were made by man. You know, anything you could buy. I didn't buy illegal ones, but I'm talking about legal ones, not illegal. And illegal drugs, as far as that goes, I tried meth once. Was into it for a few months. And it caused me a lot of heartache, mostly. But as far as doing damage to my body, it caused me a lot of mental issues that just happened to add to the troubles I already had from my years younger, you know. A lot of time and spent sitting in my own little space, contemplating things, wondering why life's been so tough. Well, I don't need to explain it to y'all, but I can tell you this. It gave me a perspective on life that no other person can gain without going through hardships almost every day, in one way or another. That's how it's been for me with life. At least it is when I'm without my closeness to spiritual self, like where the knowledge came from to make myself always well. You know, my health ain't perfect because of the damage I've done to my body when I was younger. Alcohol, yes, it'll hurt you. And so will drinking too much water at once. Never thought that would hurt me. Again, it's that energy balance. Too much of one thing or something with too much of the wrong things in it, it's bad for you. Bad for you. Right? And you know, the interesting thing about this whole experience on Earth is it reflects everything else. Like when you have too much experience of something, it can be hard on your psychological or emotional structure. And, you know, that's another aspect of health. So I guess the point is don't overload on anything. Keep the balance in check. And the same goes for too much fruit, too much of one thing, you know. You know what happens. And we know it ain't fun. So, yeah, balance. You get the balance right with the right healthy materials, and your body doesn't get sick. What does that mean? It means that you don't need anything drug-wise at all. It's nice, isn't it? Yep. It's a common misconception that people think they need to go take something. Well, this is kind of squishy right here. Woo! Just let her ease on through. Beautiful out here, isn't it? I think I'm just gonna kind of be a little quiet for a few minutes so that I can let my brain hear the dirt and mud and what the tires are doing, because I don't want to go off over that little ledge there in mud. Of course. Never fun. I rolled another vehicle I had, another Jeep. It was a 95 with no two-wheel, or yeah, just two-wheel, no four-wheel drive. But I drove the heck out of that thing. For an SUV, it does quite well, you know. The body style of the Jeep Cherokee. But they have limitations that other body styles don't. Such as the Suzuki Sidekick is narrow and short, you know, short wheelbase. Can go about anywhere. And do about anything. Hard to get your hands on one though. So if you ever see one for sale, grab it. Grab it, grab it, grab it. Yeah, this is back when I was a kid, I had one of these type of colds. By now I'd be extremely miserable. But it's like superficial symptoms. You know, you can taste a little bit of the cold, but it's nothing too bad. There's no miserableness in the head at all. My nose was runny for a little bit, but that's because of mostly the dust from the cats that I have. They make the hairs and dust kick up. Oh boy, oh boy. I got 9 cats, and I love every one of them. I do. They're my babies. And they're really all I have in my life, actually, so, yeah. At least around me, anyway. I got my brother and my sister. Lots of friends that I don't really talk to anymore, but, you know, from my childhood. But, yeah, just my cats are around me. I've never had a lot of friends at one time, but over the years, a lot of different people. I've, you know, how do I put it? I've had a variety of different experiences just to have a taste of life for what it is all the way through. And it's been interesting. However, I guess some of those experiences are what brought me a lot of hardships too. I had to finish high school had I kept at it, but I decided I wanted to have fun and slough class and, whoop, sorry about my finger going in front of that. Switch my hand here. Did I get a hold on. That might be a little better. Anyway, long story short, I didn't get a full education in school. But I know how to do what I'm doing now. I didn't get a driver's license till later on in life, though, because Sluffin made it where I didn't get my driver's license anyway. But you know, when I tried to do what little driver's ed I was trying to make it to, I realized I needed more time to mature. You know, I was a real young buck at 16. So yeah, wasn't ready. And also my eyes, I damaged them when I was about 11 years old or so with the sunlight and trying to use binoculars to see an eclipse. Stupid idea. And all of a sudden, the heat, I felt it like somebody pointed lasers in my eyes. Ooh, hot. So I moved the binoculars right away. Well, burned my eyes a little bit inside. The right one quite severely, and it took a long time to heal up. The left one pretty well healed up all the way for the most part. Just always stayed a little blurry. And a little tiny spot in the very middle, but nothing bad enough to ruin my ability to look at stuff and read it, especially way far out, you know. It's no big deal. Yeah. Well, anyway, I waited till my eyes were good enough where I could really see well, and then I went and got my driver's license and started driving. That was about 20 years ago. Now I'm 45. Time flies. Seems like just yesterday I got my driver's license. I ain't that old, you know. 45 is pretty young for any human. Actually, it's really young, but most people think it's kind of old. In respect to how long we can really live, it's not very old. But if we're not good to ourselves, it's pretty old. I don't know, I'm just about done smoking cigarettes. I might not light another one anymore. I don't know yet, but I smoked since I was 12 or 13 years old. So I don't know how I'm going to do with that in 20 years. At least I quit, you know, I'm not going to be toking them in 20 years anymore. I'd rather be toking a J if I decide to. You know. And there's another thing you want to have in, you know, not too supple amounts. You know, just like anything, you don't want too much of it if you decide to use it. So, ah, boy. More snow, more snow, more snow. I'm almost up the hill though, or up the mountain, I think. Oop. I'm gonna have to stop the video and probably start it again. I don't know if that'll make any difference or if it's that hard to split a video up or what. I've never done it. I guess I'll be trying it. little bit wavy here. Oh, my favorite part about these kind of roads. A little bit, you know, it gives you like a amusement park ride type of sense. Just don't get too dangerous. That's all I got to say. Mostly because, well, changing a tire on this kind of area is a tough thing to do. And also sliding up into the ditch off of here can be really hard to get out of. Oops, kind of greasy right here, but you know, I think it's frozen under the mud. That's good. Still a little bit early-ish, but oh, it's probably about 11 or noon now. So I gotta be real cautious here. If it gets too muddy, I'll have to turn around. Oh, I gotta take a sip of my drink. Alrighty. You know, I could put on some music, but I know there's like copyright things going on nowadays, which is kind of stupid. You know why? Because like you can borrow a tape to somebody or a CD, and they can borrow it for 10 weeks, you know? Ain't no copyright against that. What's the difference if somebody watches a video? I don't get it. Anyway. I can hear the wetness a little bit, but it's still pretty solid. Some of the trick getting through the mud, despite what your instinct or what your foot wants to do, you need to kind of go slow and easy. And if it does get too bad, just back up and turn around, because it's only going to get worse if it's the right area or that kind of area where it's going to flood with more of the water. This is a hillside more, so it shouldn't be like that. Nonetheless, I'm going slow and easy, so if I can't go, I don't go. I can still back up rather safely, you know. Which, of course, I would probably have to end my video or put the phone in the holder deal there, but anyway. Seems to be alright so far. You know, and you gotta listen for what the mud is doing on your tires too. Still moving, it's alright. It's a little bit muddy. Oof. Yeah. I can see here. Yeah, It's all right. Surface water. A lot of rock in this area. Yeah, I'm just gonna split the video with a video splitter and then upload it together or whatever. I don't know. I've only done a little experimenting with YouTube so far, and so yeah. A little greasy right there. Boy. This is a little bit more than I wanted. Okay, come on. Dry up some more for me. Alright, here we go. Still a little bit squishy. Whee! Looks more dry here. Goody. Oh no, a little bit muddy there, but barely muddy anyway. Ooh, I hope it's not too muddy here. What do we got? What do we got? It's moving. I'm just being real careful because I'm not sure about the soil here, the wet water content. Tell you the truth, I've been hanging out at home for most of the last few weeks. Out in the desert. I call it the desert because it's a desert to me. Every day is wonderful. Quiet, quiet. Okay. Ooh. Alright, that wasn't too bad. No mud there. Oh, baby, stay up there. Stay up there. There you go. There you go. Up there. Oh, there we go. Okay. Stay out of the ruts. Them ruts can be worse than anything. Climbing a little bit, not too much. Eventually I'll get over this mountain here. The spot I'm going to, if I can get there, is where I like to sit and relax. Like an hour or so. Watch traffic drive by. I love it. Which is by the highway. Of course. Ain't no traffic drive by out here really. Just a few gutsy people like me are willing to get themselves into a situation, but I just don't push it as far as some people do. Squishy right there. Squishy right here. Not too bad. Woo! Whoa, baby. Definitely a little bit muddy. Let's see what we do up the steeper hill. It's not too muddy. It's got its squishiness though. I don't think the tires are really spinning everywhere. Just a lot of resistance because it's muddy-ish, muddy-ish. Still don't want to push it because digging down into it, it could be muddy or underneath if it has any softness to it at all underneath. Don't want to get to it. And here's one of the cattle watering areas right there. Spring water running into it. Rocky right here. Shouldn't be muddy. This part's not rocky as much, but it's not muddy. Whoa, that's muddy. It'll surprise you. Boy, I'm pretty far south now. The sun is just beating down where it's hitting at. Ooh-wee. That's where I'm going is south. Well, southwest. Southwest-ish. Oh. Yep. That's how we do it. Nice and easy. No need to go hard and fast on this little bit of snow. Yeah. Pretty solid right there. A little bit squishy right there. Whoa, get back over there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I gotta ride it around this so I don't slide into it. There we go. It's a little bit of a super there. Or off camber part of the road if you want to look at it that way. That's what can get you in trouble if you let off the gas too early on that. No bueno, you're going into it. Okay, good. Still pretty solid. For the most part. Found that stick. As you can't tell, I'm going downhill, but just slowly. Pretty dry right there. Oh, that's wet, but rocky-ish. Oh boy. Well, that's muddy right there. Yep, not bad, not bad. Whoa. Oh, beer bottle in the road. I'm gonna kick that thing off the road. Yeah, actually, it'll be alright. Probably get pushed out of the way in the next snowstorm. People and drinking on a road like this is not a good idea. No. Do it if you're gonna, I don't know, I don't recommend it at all. Just don't try it if you can help it. If you can help it. Ooh, muddy right there where I just went over, but so is this whole bit. Whew, okay, that's not muddy now. More down there. It's a little bit anyway. Oh, I love this, don't you? Just relaxing. Except for my hands are kind of tired holding this phone, but hey, it's part of the deal, right? Woohoo! And now I'm to the top finally. And there's not really anything here, but you know, the top. And now I'm going down. Well, I guess I can get out for just a minute. Just because. Oh my. Whew. Darn door panel. Ugh. Get stuck on the door jam. Get a real good view out here where I'm going down. Yeah. Right down to where it gets low, I guess. Probably about where I'm going. Out there. So hard for me to see through this with the sunlight, but I'll get try to zoom it out here. There we go. Down there somewhere. Eventually. Yep. Some sort of old road, I think there. I don't know, haven't checked it out. I think it's more off-highway vehicle type of roads, and it might be alright too. I don't know. Hard to say. For some reason I thought there was another one going that way, but maybe it was a different pass somewhere else. I've been so many places, I just don't know. Alrighty. See if we run into any more mud. Hold on a sec. A piece of fuzz on my lips. There we go. Okay. Alright, just take her slow and easy. And again, listen. See what them tires, or hear what them tires are doing, and then you'll be more in tune. Less chance of a problem. So far, so good. Ooh, gotta ease up though. Don't want to go too fast. Surprised mud would be catastrophic if I didn't know, or if I didn't have a chance to turn in time. If it would even turn going fast. You know how it is when you get on something slick. If you're driving. When you're driving. You know, something that happens to me often, and I think it's another thing to do with the synergy. Did you see that bird? The sympathetic energy. They're warning me to take it easy. But it's just nature doing its thing, and it's happening sympathetically with my situation. Because I understand the sympathetic relationships between nature and man and spiritual understanding. It's gave me a perspective that's been lost in time for at least 5,000 years. Some people now are finally figuring it out, and I'm one of them. Took a lot of braveness and a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting on myself and my life. Brought me to understanding where true knowledge begins. Because it's weird why I looked there, and not really weird because a lot of people get it. When you're feeling lost, you look to yourself. Well, all the things I've been through in my life, I looked to myself at, and none of it was good enough for what I needed to know. That's when I looked to my spiritual self. Boy, I found everything I needed to know. Tell you what. Everything that I needed to know. Oh, there's another beer bottle. Boy, somebody was boozing it, huh? You know, the problem with that kind of thing is it might be alright, but as soon as that burnt tail light comes, flashing red and blues, you can't hide that. You can't hide that at all. The reason I say this is because years ago, and you know, don't get me wrong, it's probably fine. You know, I wasn't even a smoker. It actually had some weed and I had a pipe, and I got pulled over for something else, which was just a crack in the windshield. You know, I could have got it fixed, but I didn't. Different kind of situation than a burned out taillight, I know. Same difference. I got pulled over for something I could have just been careful, and if I got pulled over, so what? But no, I took it with me that day to work. You know, whoops. The road going, that's a campsite. Needle campsite. I think. Looks like it anyway. Been a little while since I've been on this road, but I think it is. I think I looked over there a while back. Oop. Okay, this might get a little bit crazy over here. Gotta watch it. It looks like it's doing alright. I don't know. Not muddy. Kind of thought it might be. Yeah, I think that's just a little area that goes down to the wash there. Some people might drive their little ATVs up to it. This road's so far out that it really don't get much of anything. There's so many other roads to go play on. Reason I'm on this one is because it's not far from where I live, which is way out. It's way out there, so kind of out there in the Burro Valley. It used to seem like it was further out there. You know, there's an interesting perspective I've gained living in an open space. And that is, nothing looks as big as it used to. It just looks all, you know, drive 20 miles, oh, big whoopee. 30 miles, well, that wasn't very far. When back in the day, it was a ways to go when I lived in the city. Strange how your perspective changes based on what you're set in. Or how you do things. I've always got to drive a ways to go places. So naturally it doesn't seem very far anymore. It was. Or I mean it is, but it doesn't seem like it. Ooh. Ooh. Yikes. Okay. Gotta go easy here. Gotta go slow. Slow, said the blind man. Slow. Not too muddy here, I don't think. And not, no, a little bit there, but it's not any, not too steep anymore, and dry here and there. That's all we need, dry here and there. I went down a road the other day in some other mountains by where I live, and it was all frozen on one side, and it got to the other side, and it was a lot of muddy. But I was going downhill, so it was all right. Until I got back down to the valley area over on the other side of those mountains. Hamlin Valley, as it's called. Well, there's a road that should be called the Checkered Nunchuck or something like that. I don't know. It's a rough cobsucker. You know, like a cob, rough as a cob. rough as a cob, and you don't want to go on it but once. Anyway, some of you may one day, but to be truthful about what dirt roads are best, long straight ones will often have better, terrain. Ones like this are never good. So yeah, keep that in mind if you want to go somewhere, out somewhere, away from civilization. If you can find a long straight road that goes out way far, that one's going to be a better choice if it's not going too low of an area that might be melting snow or heavy rained on. Because when it's like that, it's pretty well impassable for the most part. In some places, it'll eat you right away and you'll be stuck in some places. That's why you never go until you know. The road near where I live, when it gets puddles, some of them are okay to drive through, some of them aren't. And everybody knows. Everybody knows. Oh, wow, that heat coming through the windshield, you should feel it. It's like 80 degrees, so, well, maybe 90. Pretty warm. Of course, that's through the window. Outside, oh, maybe 62. What's this saying? It says my storage space is running out. Uh-oh. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll make video till it runs out. And I hope that's good enough for everybody. Gosh, I can't believe I filled this phone's memory up. It's like 64 gigabytes or something. Was. What happened to it all? It's getting a little better now. I think I can move on a little faster. Yep. May not need the four-wheel drive anymore. But my dad used to say all the time when he was in his pickup and we'd get scrap metal, it's better to be in four-wheel drive before you get into the muck than after. Sometimes we had to go into muddy or snowy areas to get scrap metal. He was a go-getter, that guy was. Did things that I sometimes wondered, was it necessary to work that hard? But when the month time came of the month to pay $800 in bills, I was glad we worked that hard. But I sure messed up my back doing it. I'm disabled now because of it. But I enjoyed it while I did it. 10 years of time. Hard work, scrap metal is. Hard work. If you really want to make a living at it, you gotta work your butt off. Rewarding though. You get stuff that you never thought you'd get your hands on. Little weird things sometimes, and mementos that people don't care about. Lots of oil and good tires can be sold. Good oil, hydraulic oil that was in stuff that we took apart, but nonetheless it was worth a little bit of money. The good used tires were worth a little bit of money, and simple parts off of cars. Well, not simple, but expensive. Some of them were just easy to get to, aluminum and precious metal stuff. Parts of the engine, sometimes we even took those off. Big old aluminum housing intake, and all that. Yeah, there's an extra $30 if you want to take all the little bits of metal off of it. Anyway, my dad was tenacious like that about getting things drove me crazy sometimes. But I stuck with him because my mom had separated from him, and that was the only way that he could take care of the household. And I was divorced, or well, it was before I was married, and then after I was married, I was still doing it. But anyway, after I was married, got divorced and separated, I went and lived back at my dad's. And I think shortly thereafter, my mom separated from him because neither one of us was working, and she was taking all the bills and paying them, so she got sick of it. Sadly, before they got back together, shortly before, she had a major heart failure. But she was saved from the pain somehow. She just thought she was having some sort of like lightheaded thing going on, and then all of a sudden, that's it. So, lightheaded, I guess is the story. I wasn't there. My sister was. And she just died. She was in her 40s, I think, late 40s. I don't really pay attention to how old people are. It's not a big deal to me. So yeah, she was somewhere in her late 40s, I guess, and that's how long a life she got. I know for a fact it was Diet Coke and Diet Coke and Diet Coke and Diet Coke. All the time she drank it. I know that's what ruined her heart. Anyway, might not affect everyone, but it did her. Might even go back to that energy balance again. Whatever she was including into her diet may have had a bad reaction with all of that Diet Coke and slowly destroyed her heart, see? Because of the energy's doing the wrong thing inside the body. The wrong energy, wrong mix. Yeah. Those vitamins and minerals, all different kinds of energies mixed with them that affect the body's energies. Healing ability is attached to energy. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely getting dry now. I'm gonna wait for another little bit, just in case. I don't know if there's a paved road, I'd definitely take it as 4-wheel drive. Because this is just a part-time one here. Part-time means part-time. Because it doesn't have any slip between the transmission, gearbox, or whatever. The gearboxes and the differentials don't have enough slip. And so it can break an axle or scrub a tire off very quickly. But with full-time, it allows a little bit of slip where needed and keeps things from binding up and makes it turn easier and all that. It's even worse if a vehicle's got differential lockers. You really got to be careful. This Jeep doesn't have that, as far as I know. I don't drive it crazy enough to really know. I tried going up a loose dirt hill and tires started spinning, but I don't know which ones were spinning. And I thought, that's all I'm putting this old Jeep through. It'd do much more with it. I'm gonna bust it. It's got a lot of miles. It's just about at 300,000, 350. So, a little over 300,000 now. I had to change the back axle, so there you go. Somebody was hard on it before I bought this thing. The other Jeep I had, I rolled over, had 345,000 miles on the axle already, but I was easy on it. I don't push the throttle hard too often, so It's still got a lot of miles left in it. A lot. Probably another 100 or 150,000. That's what happens when you drive them easy. Stuff will last 10 times longer. And my dad and his best friend were mechanic nuts. They were nuts about working on things. The both of them went since they grew up together as kids, and they'd always say, if you drive it easy, it'll last 10 times longer. Remember that. So I did. It's paid off. Another parking area, I guess. I think I'm almost down from this hill. Yeah, I think I'll take right up before we'll drive down. If I don't need it, I might as well just take it out because it'll use more gas. Pushing more of the transfer case, and then the front. Every time it decides to pull in the front, and it'll take a little bit more fuel. Like going around turns and stuff. Just a little bit more. It adds up. I'm going downhill now though, so maybe it wouldn't add up. Easy, easy, easy. And I'm here. I'm here. There's the highway. Anyway, this road goes that way about 3/4 mile, I don't know, something like that. It goes over the highway. And it goes over the highway through here. And I think that one goes nowhere, I don't know. Or to another little out, somewhere it goes out. Cool, cool. I had enough memory to make it over an hour here. Incredible, I guess. There's a gate here that's supposed to be closed, I think. Back up. Yeah, somebody was lazy and didn't shut it. Shame on them. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and back up a little bit and relax. There goes a car. Watch cars go by. It's pretty fun, you know. Sit and chill. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.